Hey everybody, this is Corey at the MARZ project, and today I want to talk to you about synthesizers. Synthesizers are more important in music than ever these days, but a lot of people still don't know what they're about or how to use them. I'm hoping to demystify that today with the use of our Korg MS-20 Mini. I'm going to walk you through how it works, how the single flow goes, and hopefully it can help you all start making some music. So here's our synthesizer. This is an analog synth, and like many of the synths of the past, and most analog synths in general, is what we call a subtractive synthesizer. You'll hear people talk about different types of synthesizers, but the subtractive concept is the most common. It's not complicated. All it really means is we're going to start by creating a complex sound with our oscillators, which are our tone generators. We're going to mix them together with this mixer and then affect the sound with some filters. We can also change parameters of the synth using our modulation generator or a pair of envelopes available. I'll explain all those concepts as we get to them. So first, let's start with oscillators. So what an oscillator is a generator of tones that is controlled by the keyboard. So when I press a particular key on this keyboard, oscillator number 1 right now is going to play back a triangle wave at the pitch I select. There are other waveform options available, like sawtooth or square. Now the square also has a parameter called pulse width that we can modulate, with just this knob below the waveform selector. So without getting too technical, the different oscillator shapes, the different waveforms, provide a different set of overtones, and that's what makes them sound different. We call this concept timbre, that we can play the same note and have it sound different. We can also select the pitch of these notes with this scale knob. This isn't that interesting on its own, but we can also combine it with a second oscillator using our mixer. So let me blend in the second oscillator, and you can hear what that sounds like. I'm going to adjust this VCO2 level, or the second oscillator level. So you can hear that's making a pretty big impact on the sound. Now we can combine different waveforms to get a different result. Like for example, here's a triangle and a square wave combined. We can also change the relative tuning or volume of either of these. So let's, for example, pitch up the triangle wave while we'll keep the square wave low. We can also detune oscillator number 2 relative to oscillator 1 with this pitch knob. So this is useful for making things like little 2-note chords. There's also this fun ring modulation mode, which basically combines a square wave from oscillator 1 and a square wave from oscillator 2. Here's what it sounds like by itself. And our scale knob have a pretty big effect on this sound. So you can see we can get some pretty interesting sounds with just like these couple little elements. Another fun feature is this portamento knob, which if you hear me switching between keys, that's happening immediately. But if I turn this portamento knob up, they'll glide between different keys. Now that we've got a complex sound generated, we can filter it using our pair of filters. Now some synths deal with this differently. Our synth here has 2 separate filters, one that's called a high pass and one that's called a low pass filter. So a high pass filter allows the high frequencies to pass through. So as I turn this knob, you're going to hear the low frequencies of my sound going away. When I turn this low pass filter, which lets the low frequencies through, it's going to sound something like this. Now each of these filters also has a control called peak. And what this does is create a little boost at the cutoff frequency of the filter. Sounds technical, right? But what that really means is that you're going to just hear the point at which that filter is working a little better. I'll turn up the peak on the low pass filter and you'll hear exactly what I'm talking about. If I turn it up more extremely, you'll hear a defined pitch. So that's the filter section. Thanks for checking out this video. Hope it was informative and that you learned something. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and keep your eyes peeled on this channel for more information. And check us out on Facebook, and maybe we'll see you down here at the MARZ studios one of these days.